Okay, so now we have a question here. I think the last part of trigonometry is really to expose you to more question structures. And we want to kind of use this information to help us figure out questions. Now in here we have a question which says that given A and B, they are both angles in the same quadrant, such that sine A is equals to the negative of 305 and tangent B is equals to 205. So we're going to find the value of each of the following without using a calculator. So I think the first step is actually figuring out where A and B actually lie in. I mean, the biggest clue here is that they both lie in the same quadrant. So that's something we don't have to worry about. We just need to figure out where is it. Now, so sine A is negative. Okay, so if it's a negative trigonometric ratio, it would lie in the third or fourth quadrant, right? So this is actually something you don't really have to write. So third or fourth quadrant, right? So we can actually suggest, maybe we just write it down. Since sine A is less than 0, A lies in the third or fourth quadrant. Okay, so now we look at tangent B. Tangent B is a separate angle here. So since tangent B is more than 0, B lies in the first or the third quadrant. So we have a commonality here, and the commonality is third quad, right? So with this commonality now, we can safely say that A and B lies in third quad. Now this means that they're going to be two different angles, two different lines. So we're going to be very careful how we want to do this. Okay, so both lines, one is here. Okay, let's say that this angle here, this orange one, let's call this A. Okay, and then we have a second one over here. Okay, which we really need to be very, very careful here, in terms of stating this angle. So the red line, let's call this B. So I'm going to do one bigger one. Okay, so the purple one is B. Now based on this, we're going to use trigonometric ratios for sine. If we do the first one for A, so for first one for A, we draw the dotted line, and we figure out that D is opposite of a hypotenuse, right? So this would be 3 and this would be 5 units. Okay, now for tangent B, we have the this one over here. Okay, I may have drawn wrongly in terms of the length. The length doesn't make sense. But what we can actually do is kind of like, I mean, I'm just guessing the drawing, because okay, why does it not make sense now, my drawing? Because if I drew this, tangent is the opposite over the adjacent, right? The opposite is 2 units, and 2 units should be smaller than 3 units. And the adjacent is actually 5 units, which should be pretty longer than that lah. So I would say that I have drawn something wrongly, definitely. So I'm gonna kind of like just redraw it. But it's okay actually, even if you draw it wrongly. If I'm wrong, B should be something like that. Yeah, B should be like from here to here. Yeah, so I'm gonna just extend this a little bit more. And what we have here is B. It actually doesn't really matter because this is just a sketch. We are not gonna give you marks for the sketch. But now we have the opposite of B, which is 2, and the length, the adjacent length in ratio 5. So we need to be very, very sure what we're trying to do here. So we're gonna do it for A first. So if for A, what we're trying to find is the adjacent. So the adjacent will be equals to the square root of 5 square minus 3 square equals to, which gives you 4 actually. So it's actually 4. Okay, makes sense. Okay, and then for B, I'm going to draw a line to kind of like make sure we get it straight. Okay, for B, we are trying to find the hypotenuse. So the hypotenuse is equals to the square root of 2 square plus 5 square. This is actually square root 29. I'm gonna leave it as square root 29 because that's 29 is a prime number. Yeah, it's square root 29. So from here, what we are going to do now is to answer all the questions. So A, we're trying to find cosine A. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and it lies in the third quadrant, so it's going to be negative of 4 divided by 5. For part B, we have tangent A, and since it lies in the third quadrant, it is going to be positive, and it's just simply 3 over 4. Okay, for part C, we're looking at sine B, which will give you a negative value, so the opposite is 2, so it will be 2 over square root 29. And the last one, which is D, we're finding cosine B, which is still going to be negative because B still exists in the third quadrant, and we'll have negative 2. It's negative 5. Sorry, negative 5 over square root 29. So that's how you work out angles, the different trigonometric ratios of angles that lie in the same quadrant. Okay, just be very careful in terms of how you do all this. Alright, so see ya.